Paul, game aside, I think the important place to start is Callum. How is he? What's the diagnosis?
Well, we don't actually know what it is at the moment. He's been to hospital. They're a little bit concerned that there might be a fracture. But we've just heard now that he's on his way back from hospital and it's not a fracture. There's obviously we think some serious damage to the knee. But it would be wrong of me to start guessing what it is. We just, at this moment in time, we don't think it's very good news, so we're just going to have to wait and see.
It is devastating for the lad. He's been one of our consistent performers, hasn't he?
Well, you never like to see anybody pick up a bad injury, whether they've been a good performer or a bad performer. So, we're all concerned for Callum, and we've just got to hopefully get him back on the coach if that's how he's going to travel back with us. And no doubt we'll get it scanned over the next few days and see what the verdict is.
The result really disappointing.
Yeah, massively disappointing. Thought first half. I think it's a little bit unfortunate, the goal. I think Sam's been pulled down before they actually give the penalty. I get he's kicked the lad in the head, so I can see why the referee has given that. I felt as though we needed to change it to try and get some forward play, so we changed the shape at half time. Dan Butterworth was a little bit unfortunate, but I felt that shape was going to be something that might give us a chance, and I thought we started the second half much brighter, much more positive. We actually passed the ball to each other instead of giving it away cheaply. We got ourselves level with a really good goal, and then I don't know, they probably had about 2 minutes of a little bit of pressure once it was 1-1 and we went under. Again, we didn't work hard enough to stop the cross, exactly like I talked about at Cambridge last week. And Corey's got to be aware of the lad coming in behind him and clear his lines. It's defending the goals, we're defending outside of the white posts, and if you do that, you're going to give yourself a problem. And the third goal, I keep saying it, we have to compete better. The ball's gone long up to Ryan Edmondson. We've lost the first contact with them. Ball gets hooked on and Corey's been out-muscled by the striker, and then they're clean through. So really disappointing, and we need to address it very, very quickly.
Both of those second half goals, they were really horrible to watch, weren't they, the way we conceded them?
Yeah, they were. I thought we had Orient at one point, but then they came into it, and in the end, we have to say they absolutely deserve to go through in the tie. We can't have any complaints about that. I think these are a good football team. I think they're a little bit different to last year in the way they go about it, but they're a good football team. And I thought there was a spell in the second half, and only a spell, where we had it. We had the game in an opportunity to go and get ourselves through, or at least to get a replay, and we unfortunately consistently don't do the horrible crap jobs that you have to do in football, and you get punished if you don't do them crappy bits properly.
Importantly, in that spell you mentioned, that we got that equaliser and we still kept that momentum. What is it that happens, Paul, do you think, that takes that away from us again? Well,
there's obviously a bit of a mental weakness there, unfortunately, that isn't brave enough to stay with the game, to stay on it. We've got to look at it. We've got to address it. We've got to do something about it. And they've just said in there. I mean, I spoke first, but the players have said a lot to each other that will stay within there. But they have to make demands of each other. You've got to make huge demands of yourself as a professional footballer. And if you can't mentally deal with it, it'll find you out. And at the moment, we're finding it tough to mentally deal with what's going on, and we've got to find a solution as quick as we possibly can.
We have to, because it's about the league now, isn't it? It's about looking forward and getting on with the job.
Well, we have to. We've got huge games coming up. One of the players just said in there, we've got a massive game this weekend. And I'm sorry, they're all massive games. They've all been massive games up to this point now that we haven't dealt with properly. And it's only going to come from this group. We haven't got anybody else, unless something materialises over this next 6 days leading up to our game next Saturday. It's this group of players. Obviously, Hunt's will come back into it because he was off with a sickness bug today, so he didn't make the travel because of that over Thursday night and Friday morning. Taylor Charters is still weeks away. Jack Ellis will only go back on the grass next week. JJ's still weeks and weeks away. So this is what we've got, and we need to just roll our sleeves up and dig deep and try and find a solution.
Is that a concern when you look at your bench today, Paul, and you can't even fill the numbers that the FA would allow you to do?
Huge concern, yeah, it is. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's not an ideal situation, but it's where we are. That's what we are. That's the situation we're in at the moment, and we have to just deal with it.
You wrap them in cotton wool during the week?
I'm not really thinking that far ahead yet. I had a plan in mind of the team that was going to go and play in a bounce game on Tuesday. That's obviously been changed now because of Dylan coming on at half time. In the first half and playing the length of game that he did. I'll start thinking about that on the coach on the way home. We've got a lot of things to think about because anybody who's connected with Carlisle United doesn't actually enjoy or can't enjoy what's going on at the moment, and we have to address it. And I'm responsible. I've got to do everything that I can, and I hope that there's others who are prepared to come on board and do it with me.
Is that a tick in the box for today that Dylan's got his 70 minutes or whatever it was under his belt?
Yeah, it has to be a tick in the box. He's got that, and Jack Robinson as well. I thought Robbo stuck to the task really well. I thought he showed energy and showed enthusiasm. It's not a case of every individual was poor today, but it's poor decision making, it's poor bravery when you have an opportunity to take control of a game. It's not doing the crap things, it's not doing them well or consistently well, and that's why you get punished.
The positive is Joe, if he gets the chances, he scores the goals.
Yeah, it was a good finish from Joe, and we're relying on Joe at the moment. And the truth is, we probably weren't expecting to have to rely on him, but he's putting performances in, he's working his socks off, he's making it difficult. And he needs some support though. We need some support to get with him because at the moment we're not getting full support from everybody involved.
Outside looking in, it feels like we all need a lift. Does it feel like that in that dressing room, Paul? Do we just feel like we need something to give us a spark?
Yeah, you're probably right, but I'm afraid nobody gives you that lift. Nobody gives you that spark. No team we've come up against has gifted goals like we're gifting them. So we have to give ourselves a lift. We have to dig deep. It has to come from within. I don't care what you say. We can all talk about tactics and team selections, but that desire, that drive has to come from within. It has to come within from every individual, and it has to come every single day. While you're a footballer, that has to come every single day, and unfortunately, that's not what we're getting. And as I say, it has to change.
Finish with the fans, Paul. They're sticking with us.
I know they are, yeah, but we're not giving them enough. That's the problem. They sticking with us is wonderful. We have to start giving something back. We've got to start giving more back. We've got to start putting in complete performances to actually warrant the level of support that we're getting. To get that sort of number, I find it incredible at a football club in an FA Cup tie that they're only opening 3 stands and one of them's just for our fans. We've got fantastic support, and we've got to do a bit more to keep them with us.
Paul, thank you.